our society, places with races are paid wages below the average, or sexes are set with certain stereotypes. It feels like our human rights have left. Am I not wrong to write this? Where are all human rights? Thank you.
Next, we have Funchal Punjabi.
Right, time to lower the tone. This is Sleeping with Your Ex. I'm really enjoying it. Crawling out of your bed in the morning, from sweaty sheets, smelling of smoke and bad decisions, was the best damn thing I did all year. These boys, they're just cogs in a machine, but you are the oil and the spark and the life that flows between. My 100,000 miles on the clock, Ford Mondeo of a heart, rusty and used and kind of falling apart. I fell in love with you right from the start. Sparing the guts and the gore, we were a car crash. No, we were worse. It was like drowning in cat fur. Kids with sugar rush kisses running through each other's veins, but my God, if there was ever a connection closer than the way two bodies can collide in aphrodisia, we were it. I could have fallen through your skin. The curve on your back still bears the scars on it from where my lips have been, and if nostalgia had a face and a name, you would be him. And somehow, years down the line, here I am, licking you from my lips, crawling from the dust and the debris we left upon the sheets, peeling back my smile like a Cheshire cat that just got fucked like a porn star. But with, like feelings. You had put me on a pedestal and told me that I mattered, that my flaming hair and battered bones were battle wounds from this shit-stained year, and I may be sentimental, but I'll never be a mug. And I don't believe you, not one word. This was a fuck. But when you said we'd just destroy each other, as you slipped in the mess my catharsis had made on the floor when you started to run, I said, oh sweet, my dickhead. But wouldn't it be fun? Thank you.
Okay, I got a new word. It's not bullying, it's intimidation, and it's a form of art. David Mellon. Hello everybody, are you all fine? It's really good, isn't it? I mean, years ago, modern day times, when you lose contact with someone, you think, oh my God, they've gone through the tunnel and you can't contact them again. But imagine, as I tried to do, what it was like for those people 100 years ago. And I watched them documentaries, and my God, we're lucky we don't go through that. This is the path to become slower. It's for those who died in the World War I from any country. The path becomes slower, the orders become louder, the constant din of shattering cells, like the pots and pans being washed and put away by you. My mind has become slower. The generals clearly don't know what to do. I take a bullet carefully from my friend's arms as if I'm touching you. My sleep has become numb. The path to the other side has become shorter, like the one I used to rush to when I used to kiss you. But now you hold the letter, and it's not from me. Just ends with the words, hold him in eternity. God bless, thank you. Our next ceremony is Prerna Kumar.
Article 15 of the Indian Constitution prohibits discrimination against low castes, but my father says I have his blood. Filtered blood of the Maliks that came before us. He says we are Kshatriya, warriors. Says we do not bow, do not beg. Says we are pinnacle of the pyramid at our blood cement foundation. Says my mother was never one of us, despite her last name. Said names aren't much, it's in the skin. And I never understood that. She was shades lighter than he was. Says she does not know how to be smart, does not know how to weed out pure blood from the graveyard stained discard. Says she gave the servant's child too many clothes. Says she begged her father on her knees, purple dressing gown cut at the edges, to take her back a year after their marriage. Says she's a woman who gave him girls. Says his warrior son bled out of her womb one night, made pretty patterns on the bed sheet like the cheap tie-dye handkerchiefs they sell for 10 rupees in the market. Says that the 160 million shadow-skinned in my country belong somewhere below in this hierarchy. Kshatriyas don't marry them, he said. Warriors, wolves, we don't marry sheep. Says it is a sin to want anything outside this wrapped caste. Tells me when I marry it will be one of us. Draws up a list of what I need to pour into my caste-cup womb to make his warrior son. A generation late, but he'd wait singing bhakti hymns, smelling of incense, stained of his fruit suspended inside me. The air in our house was always sharp ginger and anticipation. But I look at my mother's palm, scratched with the effort of digging a hole deep enough to bury that pretty stained bedsheet. The ghost of the womb, this ginger-stained expectation, and I realized wolves don't marry sheep, they slaughter them instead. He turned my family dark despite our last name. Turns out blood stayed pure only when we pleased him. Kshatriya, we did not bow, so I did not beg him to stop. But I was 8, and I know better now. My mother, not whole enough, he said, was whole enough to step out of that pyramid, was whole enough to hold on to the children he did not want, was whole enough to be simply human, to accept simply human, to love simply human. The next time my father tells me our skin houses the purest blood, I will ask him why he took the knife to it. The next time he tells me he is top of the pyramid, and the people of my country with different last names are blood cement foundations, I will say no. We are the ocean. The ocean never forgets. Thank you.
Great.
You cannot put a barcode on the snowflake. It doesn't matter who you think you are. You cannot set a boundary to a dream. or put a price tag on a shooting star. You can't take an idea out and shoot it or lock it up behind prison bars. You can't arrest a poem and execute it or crush it with a fleet of armoured cars. You'd like to hoover up all the ideas, parcel up and ticket all the dreams, wrap them tight in cellophane and plastic, and pump them out in bulk from slot machines. You'd like to put a patent onto birdsong and charge us when a robin sings a tune. You'd like to send an invoice to the mother every time her child looks at the moon. I know you are attracted to the notion to designate each hillside corporate land. You'd really like to privatise the ocean and charge us for each walk along the strand. But you cannot make a sandwich from $1 or goose liver pate out of gold. You cannot eat the money that you've made when you find that all the world is stolen. You cannot trap happiness in a bottle and put it on the supermarket shelf. You cannot open up a tin of kindness every time you want to help yourself. You cannot put a use-by date on friendship and stash it in the freezer next to the peas with a message to defrost before using. This is an item that you can't refreeze. You can fool some of the people with mass media from Amsterdam to Boston via Bulgaria, but there'll always be one tosser who would cheat you with unexpected items in the blacking area. You can train a tiger for the circus, teach her how to do tricks every night, but at the moment when you least expect it, she'll take your head off with a single bite. You cannot put a barcode on a snowflake. It doesn't matter who you think you are. You cannot set a boundary to our dreams or put a price tag on a shooting star. Thank you.
Our penultimate summer for this round, Lucy Kubernetes.
Hi, so this is a poem, it's a spirit romance, and it's about how in love, what really counts is what's at our core. So even if things change outwardly, including gender, it doesn't matter because we'll love each other just the same. This is called Where We Are. In my mind, the wildness grows. My hair is shorn, and I propose to you. It matters not how we were born. My woman's parts I fail to mourn. Now they're gone. Here I'm female, and you are male. But there we're opposites, reversed, head to tail, just people. And more than that, two ancient souls, persons only, with matching goals, to meet wherever, in the streets of now, or on the plains of then, in the mansion house tomorrow, in rooms 1 to 10, just be there. Our essence unchanged, genderless, light. You in a housewife, me in an armoured knight. Swap and still in love. Hurtling through time, on a comet's tail, and alive in dreams, switched female to male, and man to woman, to angel. Thank you.
The last slammer before we have a short break, it's Hideto Akasu.
future and make me like, take care like a Santa Claus.
What's your name? The first thing about me you ask. My name is Hideto. The first thing about me I share. That's too hard to pronounce. Do you have an English name? I'm terrible at names. The first thing about me you reject. Did you know that foreigners are another form of life with emotion, intelligence, and history? Did you know that we can easily tell if you're bad at remembering names or just simply not wanting to make efforts to acknowledge our names? Did you know that in Japanese, my name, Hideto, means outstanding human? Not that I'm exceptional, but that all human without exception is outstanding. Everybody has a name, because nobody is the same. Your gesture of inertia and apathy turns this treasure map giving access to rich individuality into an empty label signifying sheer otherness. At countless occasions, I've been mistaken for Chinese, as if Chinese was an umbrella term, but of course, it's not big enough umbrella to give all billions of Asians shelter from reigns of racism. But do you care? After all, you gave it to us not to prevent us from getting wet, but to put us away from your sight. Your eyes perceive 100 shades of white, but only one each of black, yellow, brown, and red. Nonetheless, on your holidays, you come to our homelands for unique cultural experiences. You're gonna take thousands of pictures at historic sites and thousands more stupid selfies with the matcha frappuccino at Starbucks. And the title of your photo album will be something like Adventure into the Unknown. Some aspects of cultural distinctness are enough for you to disavow westernization in action, because otherwise you will lose your illusory haven where you can forget about repetitive sameness back home. But once you go home, you say to your foreigners, don't fuck with your way of life with your bloody cultural bullshit. You allow us to be distinct only when it serves your hedonistic escapism, as if our cultural identity was an additional option you could customize by paying extra money. You see it through your distorted glasses of fantasy, but we know your vision differs from the reflections of ourselves we see in the glasses. But we don't let this double consciousness just tear us apart. Because remember, the roads that grew from a crack in the concrete, fragmentation is a sign a new indomitable self is emerging. Thanks to your arrogance that tried to rename me, I learned to tame monstrous imperialism in me. And thanks to your naivety that called me by the name of somebody else, I learned to recognize interconnectedness. And thanks to indifference that didn't say my name at all, I learned to celebrate myself for myself. No matter what you do, no bullets of your indignity will ever reach humanity in my heart, because I will never forget what my name means.
People just mentioned the fight. I mean, life is a fight, but not all of us is fighter. Otherwise, bullies, you'd be endangered species. We're gonna have a 10 minutes break, and then we're gonna crack on round 2. Thank you.
Good, man. Good drive. Like it's good Sensory.